It's Tuesday, December 27th, 2022. A few things I want to talk about today. Markets have opened back up, just closed a little while ago. Did not do very well. Dow Jones was up 37 points. NASDAQ was down 144. Markets across the board down except for the Dow, which was pretty flat at 37. 10-year bond yield now at 3.85. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Retail holiday sales. Well, we got great news today. They're up 7.6%, and we'll talk about that. 18% of merchandise will be returned. And I was watching Fox Business, and they had a guest on today saying, well, these return numbers are so high, 18%, and that's because it's just so easy to return things today. But if you do return things, there's a restocking fee, there's other charges, there's the inconvenience of having to pack it back up and send it back, take it to the postal office, etc. So they're always making excuses. Look, people are returning stuff because they want cash. That's what they need. That's what they want. That was the #1 gift for this holiday in a survey was cash. And people who are on hard times right now, they may not need new pots and pans. They may not need a new television. They're returning stuff because they need the cash. Holiday sales up 7.6%, as we said a second ago, but outpaced by 8.5% inflation. Consumer spending accounts for 70% of U.S. economic activity. We have millions of people in this country spending money they don't even have. We have an economy based on spending. Think about that. We're not making things, we're not producing, we are spending. We are a debtor nation, So we have millions of people spending money they don't have. How long can we continue to do this before it's too late and we don't recover? And remember, the money that people are spending that they don't even have, that money that they're spending, they're buying things made in other countries. Not things made here. When you go out and you buy electronics, when you're buying even pharmaceuticals and medicine, when you're buying clothing, shoes, shirts, anything pretty much at Walmart, everything is made somewhere else, mainly Asia. So we're spending money we don't have to buy from countries that make this stuff that we don't make. And so we're so dependent and reliant now for anything at a Walmart, for our electronics, for our pharmaceuticals, for medicine, etc. And we're buying this stuff with money we don't even have. How long can we continue as a nation to survive when we don't make and manufacture things? We spend money we don't have, and we're spending it in other countries. It's not going to last much longer. It is not going to last much longer. But getting back to this article here, holiday sales up 7.6%. When you take into account inflation, people had to spend more for a lot of these gifts, and they were able to get less gifts for the money that they spent because the cost of many things has gone up. How about the cost of just shipping something? You buy something, you have to have it shipped through UPS or FedEx. It costs more this year. So that was basically another tax that you got over the holidays. So yeah, televisions were cheaper, but mainly everything else has gone up in price. There were a lot of sales, and if you were smart, you could get, I think you could get some pretty good sales on things, but you were going to pay more to have it shipped. And I think that a lot of people, from what I could tell, were not out shopping. At least at the physical brick and mortar stores, it was noticeably way down from a year ago, 2 years ago. At the malls, the shopping centers, just out here in my area, in the Palm Springs area, there's just so many, it's just not nearly the traffic that there was years ago. It's completely noticeable. But, you know, some people got some good sales if they were smart, but a lot of things cost more money and more to ship. So let me know how did your holiday spending go? Did you spend more this year? Did you spend less? Did you notice prices up? Were prices down? Were there better sales? Let us know your thoughts on that. Here's one from Yahoo Finance. Home prices slip for fourth month with U.S. market slowing. And here's another one from wolfstreet.com. The most splendid housing bubbles in America, December update. And this was a really interesting article because it shows the biggest month-to-month drops in today's October index. Prices month-to-month in Dallas dropped. Home prices dropped 2.1%. Las Vegas, they dropped 1.8%. San Francisco down 1.7%. Phoenix down 1.6%. Now, if we take the price peaks between May and July, these were the peak of the market. San Francisco, right now, from the peak to today, San Francisco home prices are down 13%. Seattle Metro down 12.2%. San Diego Metro down 8.5%. Los Angeles 6.6% down. Phoenix Metro down 5.9%. Las Vegas Metro down 5.2%. I remember talking to people in Phoenix. They would tell me that the housing market is going to go on for years. They were heavily invested in cryptocurrencies, and it's just going to go to $1 million. And, just this euphoria that some of these people had. And I remember speaking to a couple of people specifically in the Phoenix area, and they were oblivious to what was coming in housing, oblivious to what was coming in cryptos, and just drinking the Kool-Aid, just completely absorbing the euphoria. And people just couldn't even see straight because of what was taking place. Had agents writing me from Las Vegas telling me I was delusional to think that anything could happen to the Las Vegas housing market. It could never go down. The builders are going to build for the next 5 years. We have everybody coming from California over here, et cetera, et cetera. Well, now the problem here in California is nobody can sell their house to get out of the state of California. So it's going to be a big problem for states like Phoenix, Arizona, and places like Nevada, because when Californians can't sell their houses to get out, what are they going to do? And how many people sold their house or didn't sell their house but moved anyways? They moved out of state, kept the original house back here in California, just believing that the market was going to go up and up and up, and that they would sell a couple years down the road. Maybe they would rent the house out. Maybe they would just leave it vacant. A lot of vacant homes in California where people left and went to other states, and they figured, well, we'll wait another year or two before we sell the California house. Well, now the market is slowing. Prices are dropping, and now many of these people will have 2 mortgages, maybe 3 mortgages, and they're going to be in big, big trouble. And you could say, well, you could just rent the house. Well, what happens when the people you rent the house to don't pay rent? What happens if another moratorium hits? We've already seen that in LA County. They want to extend the rent moratorium another 6 months. And if it can happen in LA County, it can happen where you live. So think about that. But how many people now, think about how many people have more than 1 mortgage, 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. They're doing Airbnb. They might have 3 or 4 properties. And if they can't rent those properties out, they're in huge trouble. I cannot believe the risk that so many people took on. They never thought about the economy slowing. They never thought about what would happen after the $7 trillion got dumped in the economy, the inflation that it would cause, and the disruption it would cause in the economy, the layoffs it's causing now, the slowdown. The brakes are being hit on this economy, and they're going to continue to be hit. Treasury yields climb as investors consider economic outlook for 2023. This on CNBC today. 30-year fixed rate. Check today on bankrate.com, 6.51%. And I believe this could start heading upward. We could be heading right back to 7+%. Because we know that that 30-year is really based off of the 10-year bond yield, and the 10-year bond yield is creeping back up. I mean, 3.85% today, not very far off. We could be at 4% this week very easily. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's the way this thing can move up and down, it's amazing. But I mean, we could be there in a day at 4% again. And that means that you're going to see mortgage rates continue to climb. So very interesting now how they slammed the 10-year, but now the 10-year is back up. Gold is back up. Silver is back up. Absolutely amazing. And I think the dollar softened a little bit today. Dollar is going to come under pressure here, I believe, in 2023. This is going to be very good for gold, very good for silver. I don't give financial advice, but I'm a big believer in holding precious metals because they are recognized around the world as real money. They have history. They're never going to go to zero, never have, never will. If you need a place to buy, check out my link down below, SD Bullion. Again, I don't care if you buy it, you don't buy it. That's what I'm doing. I don't give financial advice, but people always ask me what's a good place to buy. I buy from SD Bullion, been buying from them for over 4 years. So link down below if you need that, check that out. But getting back into this, another one from CNBC, why restaurant chains are investing in robots and what it means for workers. Well, what it means for workers is you're not going to have a job. They're going to try to replace so many of these service sector jobs, especially in the restaurant business. The faster they can get rid of people, to them, the better, because I think that the restaurant industry is having a very difficult time paying people $18, $19, $20 an hour to flip burgers, dealing with people who don't want to work, people who don't want to be there. And so if they can get a machine to do it, a robot, they're going to do it. And so they're going to outsource these jobs to technology. And so you're going to have more people out there looking for work. And you're going to look at what's going to happen in warehouse, what could happen in trucking, what's going to happen in restaurants. It's all heading into robotics and technology, and it's going to be replaced. So what are people going to do, say 10 years from now? That rely on the service sector, where so many service sector jobs are going to be replaced by robotics and technology. And again, I talked about this yesterday. When you go to a restaurant, it seems like people don't want to be there. They'd rather be home collecting government subsidy. They resent the fact that they have to be at this restaurant serving you, making your food, taking your order. And not all. There's some places and some people that really take pride in their job, and it's really too bad. It's sad, actually, that so many people take no pride in their job. You know, just because you work a service sector job, why wouldn't you work hard? Why wouldn't you do the best that you could? Why wouldn't you take pride in it and move up the ladder and, move on to some other profession down the road when the doors open and the opportunity is there? I just always believe that no matter what you do the best that you can at it, take pride at it, and learn something from it. And then you'll appreciate more when you get that better job. But I think that so many people now are so lazy and feel like they're owed something, and it's really sad. And we're watching just the demise of society take place. NBC News. After deadly buffalo blizzard, families scramble to find food and essentials. Well, here we go again. We've been talking about this for years, why you need to be preparing, why you need food, why you need water, why you need to be able to protect it. Today, families in Western New York are scrambling to find food, to find medicine, and other essentials. Supermarkets and pharmacies are closed. No stores are open. No one to take your money, ladies and gentlemen. There is no store open today in Western New York because of the massive amount of snow. So what do? Hopefully you don't get robbed, because they're robbing all the stores as they're sitting there. But even if you have money, you can't use it because nobody's open to take it. So you're in trouble. And this could go on for a couple more days. Power outages out there. How do you stay warm? What do you drink? What do you eat? How do you take care of your kids? Obviously, many of you have seen the crime that is taking place there now. It's not a pretty picture, but people just think like nothing bad can ever happen. And this is another reminder to you and to myself why we must be preparing, because we have, tornadoes, we have earthquakes, we have floods, we have blizzards, we have droughts, we have grids going down, you name it. We should be prepared for anything. And then to think about what is happening right here, according to the Washington Post, 4 Washington power stations vandalized amid unsolved incidents nationwide. This on the Washington Post. So this obviously is a man-made disaster right here. I believe this put 14,000 people without power on Christmas. So is somebody sending a message? I don't know. But it's interesting how we're seeing more and more of these attacks on our grids. Investigators continue to search for suspects in a string of Christmas Day burglaries at 4 electrical substations near Tacoma, causing a fire at one and leaving thousands without power. 14,000 people without power on Christmas. Boy, isn't that nice? Wouldn't that just make your day, make your Christmas? No power, cold temperatures, and somebody did it on purpose. Why did they do it? Why are we seeing so many of these substations now being attacked? And what if we begin to see more and more of these substations attacked, bigger ones, bigger areas, bigger cities? What could this do to this country? It could shut it down. It could shut it down. And so just like a blizzard, you start shutting down and vandalizing substations, that means that the water companies shut down, means your power shuts down, your refrigerator shuts off, the gas companies shut down, your computer shuts down. It's going to be a problem. And so this right here is happening more and more. I think we need to pay real big attention to it, because I don't know who's doing it. But just think about how easy it is, and how fragile our grid really is, and vulnerable. I mean, you drive by your local grid, it's a chain link fence, and that's it. Anybody could jump over it. Anybody could drive through it, fly a drone into it. I mean, it's so vulnerable. And these things cannot be repaired quickly. These terminals cannot just be replaced instantly. They take years to make over. I believe they're made in Germany. And we don't have piles of terminals to replace ones that break or go down. But we have billions of dollars to send over to Eastern Europe. That's fine. Why are we not, maybe taking $1 billion, a couple $1 billion, whatever, and reinforcing and securing our grid right here in America and having backup terminals in case something happens? But no, it's more important to send, $100+ billion over to Eastern Europe. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on that. The hedge, Peter Schiff. I'm even more bullish on gold now. Peter says there's no comparison between Bitcoin and gold. The Bitcoin bubble has popped, he says. It is a speculative asset. And when you think about it, just think, really, the premise of a lot of these cryptos was that if you bought this, you needed everyone else to keep buying it so the price would go up. Nobody was buying this stuff because they thought the dollar was going away or going to zero. They were buying it because they wanted to make quick money. And that's why, so many of these athletes and celebrities and the Kevin O'Learys jumped into this because it was quick, easy money. And they just needed to keep pumping this bubble up. It's a total Ponzi scheme. It's like I would have friends in this calling me, wanting me to talk about it on the show in a positive light. They wanted me to buy it because they needed everybody they knew to keep buying it so the price of their crypto would keep going up. So it wasn't really an asset, obviously. I mean, as soon as the markets turned, it went down with it. It is no way a safe haven asset at all. No way. Gold might not be $5,000 right now, but it's well over 1,800 and steady. And I can get to it in 30 seconds. And the same thing with silver. But while everything else is decimated, look at the markets over the last 4 or 5 years, and look at the metals, at least gold. I mean, it's outperformed, and it's physical. It's never going to zero, and it just hasn't had this crazy volatility like we've seen in the markets or in crypto. But again, this whole thing in crypto was they needed everybody to keep buying, to keep pushing it up. And now that the excitement is over and the bubble has bursted, where does it go from now? What do you all think about the cryptos? What do you think about Bitcoin? Will it recover? Will it rebound? If it does, will it ever go back to near 70,000? People were telling us it was going to go to $500,000, $1 million. Never did. And how many people are sitting on Bitcoin where they bought it at $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, pulled money out of their homes to do it? The economy now is collapsing. They've lost, 20, 30, 40, 50% in their cryptos. How do they recover? Or do they recover? Many won't. Many won't. So very interesting what played out in 2022. But 2023 is going to be, I believe, a very chaotic year. Think about now what's happening in Taiwan, what's continuing to happen over in Ukraine. Think about what's happening right here. Think about leadership, what's happening geopolitically, global economy, the global debt. And we just signed the omnibus bill for $1.7 trillion. Who in their right mind believes that inflation is going away? When you are sending tens of billions of dollars a time over to Eastern Europe, when you just passed another $1.7 trillion, my fear is inflation is going to get much worse. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of data they throw at us and tell us how good it's going. I go to the store quite often and I see the prices. They're not going down. Now, yes, maybe a big screen TV. Yeah, you can get a great deal on those. But when it comes to putting food on the table, when it comes to heating and cooling the house, now we're watching gas prices begin to creep back up. Oil now over $80 a barrel. And we're going to have to at some point fill the petroleum strategic reserves back. And how much is that going to cost? And do you really believe oil prices are going to remain under $80 for much longer? As now we are over $80. I think we're going to be in 2023. I think we're going to be at $100 plus. I think it's very, very possible. So, be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. Really, really be careful. The crime waves that we're seeing across the country, food prices soaring, energy prices soaring, layoffs by the thousands every day. I've never seen anything like it. And we're still in 2022. 2023 is going to be a barn burner. It is going to be chaotic. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be historic. We're going to see some crazy things unfold in 2023. Be prepared, ladies and gentlemen, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. And as I leave you today, please be walking close to God. A lot of people, talk about a lot of things out there. If you truly believe that things are going to get bad, if you truly believe that this is spiritual warfare, if you truly believe that we're going to go into a depression, then I truly believe we all better get right with God, because we are going to need as much help as possible. We're going to need a miracle. In other words, we're going to need a miracle. This country does not survive without a miracle, period. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless you all. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, share it. And I look forward, as always, I look forward to speaking with all of you very, very soon. Take care.